I know you talked to a lot of church-going Christians. I don't know if you ever actually engage with a street preacher, doing
No,
what we
not
do.
really.
And my first, okay, I don't know if it's just because no, street preachers aren't on your radar or what, but I had said to you my initial comment on your channel was I'm the first American to be threatened with jail time for posting Bible verses, and that I guess that caught your attention. And a few of your, I can't see your chat now because when I go on YouTube, it echoes real bad. I don't know if there's something to that, but that's why I had to pause your video.
Okay.
But a lot of people are asking for context in that, and I want to give you the context of that and tell you this is why it's a problem in this country with a lot of far left and activists and whatnot. So I went on Facebook, and it was after I preached a Pride event in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, where we uncovered a trafficking ring, a DHS ring. Woman was working for DHS, where she actually also simultaneously owned a group home where she was having kids and pushing LGBT stuff on them. And then she was recruiting gay people and taking these kids from her group home and putting them into foster families where one child's arm was broken and another child was dead, I told you about earlier. So we uncovered that she got fired and all that stuff and whatever. After that, however, I posted 2 Bible verses about same-sex marriage. And I said that Matthew 18:6, which I don't know if you know the verse off the top of your head,
I
but
don't
it
know.
says, those who cause one of these little ones to stumble, it's better for them to have a millstone around their neck, right? I posted that verse and I said, since they get so triggered about that, how do they feel about Romans chapter 1, verse 32? And that's all I said.
Which
2
one is
lesbians.
that? Is that how homosexuals won't inherit the kingdom of God?
No, it says they're worthy of death.
Homosexuals are?
So yes, homosexuals, those who support them are worthy of death. And I
So
always
see,
say, with how do they?
but do you see like the issue? So before you even go any further, like you said you don't want to control anybody's lives, and I get that like
I
you
don't.
yourself are not going up to someone's door and being like you need to live your life this way, but you think that people existing as gay are worthy of death. Like, do you realize how extreme that is?
Well, do you think that pedophiles are worthy of death?
Do you think that all gay people are pedophiles?
No.
Okay, so then why don't you just target pedophiles and people that abuse children? Why don't
Well,
you just target
well,
child
I do.
molesters?
I do absolutely. There's people sitting in jail right now because what we've done, what we do. But and again, when you look at the numbers, and I know you're going to disagree, and you might cuss me out on this. I don't care, but most pedophiles are gay. Not all gays are pedophiles, but most pedophiles are gay. That's a fact. A man, and I heard you argue this on one of your videos. And this is where the Arson Equate argument came up. A male who likes males is gay. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No,
If a
there
male,
is.
if
Like
a man,
this is such a cheesy understanding. So first of all, like if you look at how the FBI profiles child abusers, pedophiles, child molesters, all these things, there is a difference. There are some people, for example, that are actually attracted to having a power and a control over another person. This is why the FBI talks about how a lot of child molesters will also molest and abuse old people. They don't care if the child is a boy or a girl. They will just take advantage of the power dynamics. This has literally been documented by the fucking FBI, my friend.
and and just and I can't say much more than this, but I do work with FBI on a lot of things when it comes to child molestation, both male and female. There are women that molest children too. But overwhelmingly, it is male men that go after boys.
And I'm telling you
Overwhelmingly.
right now, though, that a man who just molests a little boy does not by default mean that man's gay.
It does mean he's gay.
No, it
He's
doesn't.
gay.
It could be that he's attracted to the power and control over another person, and he's taking his sick desires out on a child because that's who he can easily, who's most accessible to him at the moment. For example, do you think in prisons when like gang rapes happen, do you think all those men that partake in that gang become gay the minute that they rape another man?
No, but do you know what? Do gang in prison isn't as prevalent as a lot of people think it is? But do you know why they do? Who do they do that to? Usually, it's child molesters, rapists, things like that.
Wait, but they're doing it to another man.
Right.
So they're
They don't do it
having
with
sex
children.
with. Wait. So if a child molester abuses a boy, that guy by default's gay. But if a man rapes another man in prison, that guy by default isn't gay. You see how this doesn't follow, right?
If you're a man and you have sex with a male, that's gay. I don't know how anybody could say it's not. I don't care if it's a male.
You just said it wasn't in prison with gang.
The act itself is gay. Correct. I mean, a man having
Does it
sex
mean
with a
okay?
man is
Yes,
gay.
of course it's a gay act. Does it mean that they are gay?
Well, I'm sure pretty and well, I'm not going to go there with you. I don't want to do that. But I'm saying this: no matter what happens, a man is not going to. How do I say this without being graphic?
Are you just not going to answer my question?
What was your question? I'm sorry.
My question was, if somebody abuses a little boy, and that by default means that guy's gay because he abused a little boy. In prison, when gang rape takes place, the men that rape another man, are those men gay?
I would say that they're probably bisexual, because how do you get turned on by another man if you're not gay or attracted to males?
This is why you're lacking nuance, my friend, because there's
Not
the
really.
power dynamic you're missing. There's a huge fucked up thing with a lot of predators and abusers with power. They want to take full power and control over another person.
And a lot of, in some cases, absolutely. I'm not going to argue that and say that's not true at all. Of course it is. I mean, they
So
say
isn't it
they
certain?
think,
So isn't it possible then that there's could be somebody who would abuse a boy but not be gay, just want to just take advantage of the power?
I think it's probably both. Because again, how does somebody get sexually stimulated by a male if you're not gay, or at least bisexual?
Because
it
it's
doesn't
the
make any sense.
power dynamic. What do the same people that will abuse little boys will sometimes abuse elderly women? How do you get turned on by an old woman? It's the power dynamic. It's the fact that they're taking power over another person.
You know, and I do agree with that. There are people, like I say, they say rape isn't a sex crime; it's about power. I mean, that's what they, that's what they claim a lot of times. But and I think culture, tries to redefine things, especially in this case, to protect the LGBT, because they don't want to say, hey, they make up what, 3% of the population, yet even if you take that out of there, they commit 40% of child molestation cases.
They don't. The
That's
majority of child
what they do.
molestations are actually committed by men who are in heterosexual marriages.
Right, but I'm saying, if you look at the 3% of population that commits 40% of child molestation cases, that demographic right there, that disparity should shock everybody.
Because you're
yes,
saying that demographic is all made up of gay people, which is not true. It's made up of straight people too, who are fucked up and take advantage of children.
I'm taking that part out, because again, when you look at the Catholic priests that molest boys, the Catholic Church, hey, 80% of them were gay. I'm talking about just the straight numbers, 3%, 40% child molestation. I believe it's much higher, because those numbers are not being calculated in that figure.
You're making things up. You're making that up. You're
No, I'm
saying,
not.
yes, you are. You're saying this
I have it
large
in my-
chunk of
hold on,
people
I'll
is
get it.
gay, which is not true.
I'll have it in my. I have a whole lot of these studies here in my notes on my phone here. Just for that, of secular source, by the way, not necessarily Christian, because I know most atheists, and I'm not saying you, most atheists reject any study done by a Christian.
I mean, not necessarily. It would just depend. Like,
That's what I said, not
I
you, I'm
know
not
there's
saying you,
one
but most
person
do.
particularly that was very, very prominent in publishing a lot of now long dismissed data about gay people being pedophiles. And it was
You're
all
talking
based.
about the region,
I think it is. I don't remember the name, but okay, hold
the
on.
region study where they went after his methodology, saying, oh, you did this, and then he had to redo it, and and again, the only people that blasted it were the people that supported homosexuality. They're the only ones that blasted it. So that's what I was trying to tell you before, is you and I could cite studies back and forth, and you'll find studies to back you up, and I'll find studies to back me up. And I will say this, I'm not really a big studies guy on a lot of things, some things, not everything, because I believe that the people that are paying for the studies, they're basically paying to get the results they want, regardless of whether it's Republican, Democrat, left, right, gay, straight, doesn't matter. I do believe in a lot of cases that's what's happening, and that's why you have studies that'll support my position.
Do you think
and
the
studies that support
Child
your position.
Molestation Research and Prevention Institute is just like a biased thing? Because it notes that 90% of child molesters target children in their network of family and friends, and the majority are men married to women.
Right, but how many gay men are married to women that leave their wives because, oh, I'm gay now? Happens a lot. I
The
don't think being
studies, by the
married
way,
is.
that I was talking about that have been dismissed are something by Timothy J. Daly and something by
Well, I don't know
Paul
that.
Cameron.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I was talking about the Regent study, which was John. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The one that you're talking about there, I can't recall that one off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm reading right here, like.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up here. I've got so many different things looking through, because I'm talking to my phone at the same time as I'm looking this up. I saved a whole bunch of links to studies from psychology and colleges and whatnot that are secular. It's just I have to find them, because I wasn't prepared.
It's okay. You don't. It's not even. You don't need to worry about it. It's just at the end of the day, this whole thing is built on the assumption that if a man abuses a little boy, he must therefore be gay, which is just not true. It is deeply flawed, misses a bunch of nuance, and leads you to this negative conclusion that gay people are disproportionately pedophiles.
Well, but they are though. I mean, are you going to say that the Catholic priests that molested those boys were straight men, or they could have been
Yes,
straight
a
men?
lot of them were, dude. You don't obviously understand the effects of someone when they're like repressed and then have a power dynamic.
Sure, I do. I wasn't a Christian my whole life, and I'll spare you my life story. But I didn't become a Christian until I was an adult, after the military and everything else, and what happened as a kid. So believe me, I understand what it's like to be oppressed. You have no idea my background.
No, repressed, like your sexual desires are being repressed, and then there's this power dynamic. I don't think that all the Catholic priests that committed those abuses and those terrible things were gay.
Well, the Catholic Church disagrees with you. They say that they're 80%, not all of them. They say 80% of them were gay, 20% were straight, is what they're saying.
Okay. Yeah, this is
That's what the
probably
Catholic
all
Church is
built
saying.
on the exact same crap, which is just that if a man abuses a boy, he's gay, which is not true. So,
well, the only people that the only people that disagree are, again, the people that support homosexuality disagree that
the FBI
with me. The
disagrees
people
with
that,
you.
well, the FBI that I work with, a lot of the times will say things that they got to be careful what they say publicly because of the LGBT mob.
Okay, well,
And
the
I do work with
FBI in 1994, before the woke LGBT mob, had a whole report published on child predators where they distinguished between the different
Right,
types of
because
child molesters. There's the fixated child molester, stereotypical pedophile, and a lot of these people cannot be considered homosexual or even heterosexual because they find adults of either sex repulsive.
well, like I said, I think if a male is sexually attracted to a male of any age, they're gay. I mean, that's what being gay is. And if a man is attracted to a little girl, he's straight, but he's still a pervert, and he deserves to be put to death as well.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that this flawed assumption that you're building this on, that is not supported by anything, literally is
Well, it
leading
is. I
you
mean,
to
obviously,
label a group
I
of
didn't pull it out
people
of,
as pedophiles, say they're worthy of death, even though what the numbers actually show is kids raised by gay parents do quite well. Gay people are more likely to adopt. They're doing a benefit and a positive for society. They're not harming anybody. But you're saying they should be put to death.
They have to adopt because they can't have children. They're denying a child a mother or a father, the benefit of a mother or a father.
They're not denying it. These kids have already been denied that. They're in the foster care system.
Yeah, I was in the foster care system as a kid too, and
well, it shows, my friend, because honestly, I think the less people that are turn out like you, the better.
Well, you don't know it. You really don't know that.
All right. Adios.